The Kohli-Shastri duo, as far as, let's say, their tenure at the helm of all things Indian cricket is concerned, well, let's just say they're not very fondly remembered. Now, a lot of that stems from the fact that when Virat Kohli was captain and Ravi Shastri was head coach, India more often than not were bunnies when it came to ICC tournaments. The drought that, let's say, has been going on for a long time was perhaps at its most egregious when Kohli was captain and Shastri was coach, because again, you had a lot of very talented players, yet more often than not, come crunch situations, you simply wilted. That being said, one of the things that tends to get lost a lot when it comes to recognizing the goods about their time together was just how dominant they made India as far as being a test force was concerned. It's worth remembering that under Shastri, you ended up not just drawing in or actually doing well in South Africa, you ended up winning 2 series in Australia, you were competitive in overseas tours whenever you went, and at home you became an even stronger force. And one of the reasons why, according to Shastri himself, as he spoke out in a recent interview that happened, is because the focus for him was always going to be Test cricket. And in fact, he credits his partnership with Kohli as being one of those key things that helped drive them forward. Worth noting, Kohli himself, someone who definitely enjoyed a lot of Test cricket. And in Shastri's own words, he's saying he managed to, let's say, polish up Kohli, who in his own words was an uncut diamond. He said that, look, I wanted to win and make Test cricket paramount, and I identified an uncut diamond in Virat Kohli. Now, I think calling Virat at that point an uncut diamond would definitely be a little bit rough, mainly because Kohli was already solidified, not just as team captain, but also the best batter in the country. But point well taken, Kohli as a batter definitely continued to grow a lot under the tutelage of Shastri. But where I really think he makes a good point when it comes to how it is he instilled, let's say, a mentality, a winning mentality into the team, said, well, that started in the nets. How exactly did it start in the nets? Well, he took, let's say, seniority and rank totally out of the equation. How did they do that? Well, he says that we made it a free-for-all in the nets. You were allowed as a bowler to bounce the, well, I can't say the word on YouTube, but you can figure out what it is. It's a 4-letter word that starts with S. He says you were allowed to bounce that out of anyone. Kohli was the first person to embrace it and was prepared to look ugly in the nets. Because people saw that, the mindset of the team changed a lot. And it's an interesting point to make, because again, more often than not, net sessions would often be about practice and getting your eye in. But in Shastri's words, what they did when he was at the helm and when Kohli was the captain is they allowed the fast bowlers to kind of try and rattle a lot of the pacers as well. It was a free-for-all. You were allowed to put in as many bounces as necessary. Kohli himself, according to Shastri, was okay looking ugly in the nets occasionally if it meant giving his bowlers some kind of confidence. And that is a pretty interesting revelation and something that a lot of people didn't actually know. I mean, yes, we were familiar with the fact that under Kohli and Shastri, you developed a very good arsenal of fast bowlers, but that doesn't necessarily always lead to success now, does it? However, what he said is what was important was the mentality and mindset, because when they were allowed to bowl like that, well, then that's exactly what helped them become much better and then reach it to that next level. A good example he gave was of someone like Jasprit Bumrah, who, in his own words at that point in time, was seen as a white ball player, but Shastri himself claims that he knew he could be very good, and that's why he chose to go with him. Said that, look, Jasprit Bumrah was labelled a white ball cricketer, and more often than not against his own will. But I knew otherwise. I told him to get ready, as I was going to unleash him in South Africa. And whilst obviously recent tours of South Africa haven't been very fondly remembered, if you go back to the 17-18 tour, that was in fact a tour that a lot of people remember a lot, thanks in no small part to Jasprit Bumrah, because that was when he made his test debut. He was unleashed in test cricket, as Shastri rightly puts it. And that was the time the whole world got to know that Bumrah, despite just being at that point one of the best white ball bowlers India had, was also someone who could be a very good all-format bowler. There were doubts over whether or not he should be used in Test cricket. Right now, though, those doubts are all gone, especially when you look at how well he's done even in the recent series against England, where he's been that one bowler who, in all times, England have really respected. So that was actually what Ravi Shastri had to say when it comes to, let's say, changing mentalities and changing the mindset of the team and preparing them for success. And I think it's a valid point. Yes, under him, the records when it came to ICC tournaments not very good. But India, the test side, became much stronger and much more competitive, especially away from home, and that's something that shouldn't be taken away from them, even if the lack of an ICC trophy in that point in time will always stick out like a sore thumb. But what are your thoughts on the entire matter? Well, you can let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Don't forget to download the AajTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well. For now, from my side though, it's goodbye.